Kickstarter picks, big Kickstarter news.
Yes. Honestly, we're probably going to have from now on, judging by the pattern, which we'll go on with this one, of a big company releasing a Kickstarter. It seems to be the trend now.
Half the news these days in board games is a game's on Kickstarter.
Right. It's either Cool Mini or Cryptozoic or so on and so forth.
And latest to the fray is AEG with Thunderstone Quest.
Yes, if you are a follower of our podcast and watched our last year Gen Con episodes, we actually talked about how they announced they were going to bring back Thunderstone on Kickstarter. A lot of debate on whether this is a good or bad thing, but it's here. So if you don't know, Thunderstone was an old deck building game, very popular, and they're bringing it back. I mean, not much more than that. It's very popular. Check it out if you like it. AEG is doing something, so you check with your local friendly game stores. Like, you can sign up with them, so they buy it through you buy it through them. We'll see how I forget what they called the retailer plan.
So I don't know either.
But we'll see if this actually works with retailers or not.
Yeah. So you backed this. You did back this. We have not played the original Thunderstone.
No, but it was a deck building game, and plus it's a popular. So I'm like, I should probably know.
It'll be interesting to experience it, I guess, as younglings to this world.
And that's the challenge that came up a lot during the discussion. I mean, we talked about the video. Is fact because I just saw, I'm like, okay, back or star. Like the effort you have to put in to go out to talk to it's just hard.
It's hard to get out there. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, you gotta. I mean, it's so easy to click on Kickstarter. It's very easy to back. So it'll be interesting.
We'll see how this goes for AEG.
How their plan goes. But it is cool that they're relaunching one of their beloved properties. For how long it will stay relaunched, it remains to be seen. But you can check that one out. It goes for $60 for the base set. Of course, there's always tiers. Here's one that I'll talk to you about. It's called The Last Garden, which sounds a lot like The Last Guardian, but shouldn't be confused with that. The premise of this one is it's post-apocalyptic Earth, and there is one human woman left alive, and she has decided to create a bunch of robots to restore the gardens of the planet. You, as players, are each controlling a group of these robots, which they call robotanists, very cleverly, and you're, for whatever reason, you were programmed to want her affection. So you're competing to see who does the best building to gain her love. It's sort of like a Wall-E thing mixed with...
very sad.
Yeah, it's a little sad.
Love me.
The end of this game is she dies and there's still no human life. It's interesting. But basically the way
that might actually be a good thing.
The way it plays is, if you're a plant perhaps, you're going to be playing cards and then placing robots on the board in different places, and depending on where they are, you're going to be scoring points based on the numbers of gems there or the colors of the gems, sort of a worker placement thing, but the board state will actually change as the game goes on, so your cards might have different effects later on. It looks like a cool game. The artwork is nice, the theme is interesting and unique. Worker placement kind of a thing, but light. I don't know. Looks like fun.
Yeah.
So you can check out The Last Garden. That goes for $35. Where else might you find gardens? Perhaps on an island of dinosaurs.
Probably. Now, if you haven't guessed, this one is named Dinosaur Island. And yes, it's pretty much you are playing Jurassic Park, the game.
Or the Dinosaur Tycoon.
I was trying to remember, yeah. Pretty much you're making dinosaur parks. I mean, that alone should catch your eye. And you have to, make sure they don't escape, build different attractions, whatnot. You're all competing, get different DNA and stuff. It's actually all designed also, if you look at the box, like that early 90s, like in late 80s, sort of like vibrant, like bright purple, pink and stuff. And it actually comes from one of the designers of Dead of Winter. So, very exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so I'm definitely really excited to try this out. I mean, honestly, you predicted it. I mean, it had dinosaur in the title. That alone usually gets me, like, my eyes looking at it. And then throw in the fact that it's Jurassic Park pretty much. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, it does sound honestly like it's such a great idea for a game. Dino Tycoon was pretty fun on the PC, and this, I mean, it seems like it's just the perfect fit for a board game setting. Dinosaur Island goes for $60 as well, if you like that one. Interesting that you mentioned Dead of Winter, because our last game bears some similarities to it. It's been compared to it. It is called, what's it called again? The Pirate Republic. I knew it was something with pirate in the title.
I'm not surprised.
So, yes, it's a pirate game, but what makes this different from other pirate games? Well,
they're zombies.
For one thing, it's based very much in historical, as much as they can, historical fact. You are actually each playing as a real pirate from history. You have your own custom deck, mostly with the same cards, but every person has a couple unique cards. And you can choose to either play cooperatively or competitively. And if you're playing cooperatively, there could be a hidden saboteur in your midst. Talking is hard. And
once again, hidden rolls.
Yeah, hidden rolls. Again, it always comes back to that. So you're basically, there's a big map. You're sailing around this map at the ocean. There's some ports and different lands. There's fortresses you can attack. You're rolling to see how far you can move. You can attack each other or not. You can form alliances or break them up. And
assuming if you're not doing the cooperative.
Right. Yeah, it'd be interesting if well, again, it could be a saboteur. But there's chaos cards, which are basically crossroads cards from Dead of Winter, where when it's not your turn, you could trigger something that will happen. And the other game this has been compared to was Mage Knight, where basically in the kind of deck building-ish aspect, I think, where you're moving around a board and you can upgrade your cards and components and get new people on your ship and stuff like that. But it is definitely a big deal, heavy-looking pirate game. It looks to incorporate all the stuff you would want from a pirate experience.
Does it come with a pirate hat?
No pirate hats that I know of. Pirate hat not included.
Stretch goal.
Sold separately. But yeah, the artwork is cool also because it's all hand-drawn and inked. Nothing's digital.
I mean, definitely worth taking a look at. One of the big things we love with Dead of Winter, we feel like, especially when you get the app, you really feel like you're in the story and stuff. So I'm very curious to take a look. I haven't seen this Kickstarter and see what those cards are like, if it really does make you feel more that you're in it. And I'm very curious, because you said they keep it as real as possible. One of the big things is, at least old times, a lot of the pirates were more like hired from like the British Empire to mess around with Spain. So I wonder if they're counting those pirates in there too, like Sir Francis Drake and stuff.
That would be interesting. I mean, I know there's a lot of people cards that you can find and get, so I'm sure they're incorporated.
And that would actually make it interesting because that'd make more sense on a cooperative. Like you're all the hired ones, when if you're doing the competitive, you're all the, you know, the pirates like Blackbeard that we know, the more roguish type.
Right, and Blackbeard is one of those pirates. if you didn't guess.
I would be a little shocked that they didn't include him.
It looks like he's on the box as well. So that one goes for $54, and you can find it right now on Kickstarter, along with these other games. Let us know if there were any picks that you had that we missed. There were some pretty good ones this week.
Oh, there was actually quite a bit. It was hard to narrow down.
If you enjoyed this video, it was just a snippet of our full-length podcast, which you can find on our YouTube channel every week. So please go ahead, like, and subscribe for more board game-related content coming at you in the future.
And don't forget to check out rollforcrit.com, where we actually sell a lot of the games we talked about, as well as post news and all our other videos. Until then, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit.